Hello everyone. In our last video, we have seen how to make or add currency to different cells in Microsoft Excel. In this video, I will show how to calculate the total revenue generated in a bookstore. Okay, so for doing that, I have already specified. Uh, so you can see from the written chart here. um, I have specified the total sales in a bookstore. The main sales revenue come from three categories of items. First one is novel, then magazine and textbook, and the specified price of each of the item is novel $50, magazine $15, and textbook $25. So in 2010, 100 novels were sold, 304 magazine were sold, and 500 textbook were sold. So now you want to calculate the total revenue generated from this sale. Okay, so this might be very tempting to use calculators by for just calculating these three items sale to calculate the total revenue. But for instance, if you have a lots of item and the sold and the sale is and there is a lot of sales, then it's very difficult to calculate individually for each of the items manually. So that's why Excel come into operation. It's very easy to organize and calculate different items sale in Excel. So let's start. Okay, so I'm going to calculate 2010 sales first. Okay, so in the revenue column, what you are going to do, first select the revenue column for 2010 and start the equation by just giving a equation sign. Then you are going to write the equation. So what we are going to do, we have sold novels 100 pieces, so we are going to select 100 piece of novels, then multiplying that with the price of each of the novel, and then you have to add it with the number of magazine sales, multiplying by price of each of the magazine. Then you have to add the textbook sale and multiply that with price of each of the textbook. Okay, so then press enter and you have got the value $22,060. So that is the total sales revenue generated in 2010. Now what you can do, you can just add individually. You can add individual equation for each of the year. That is one option, but as I have shown in my previous videos that you don't need to do that manually. You can easily calculate sales uh, from on sale to the whole column by just drag and drop, by just dragging that cell until the very end. Okay, as the equation will be populated for each of the cell. But here is some trick, or there is some problem here. So if I just let me show something here. So if you drag select your cursor at the very right plus sign and drag until the end, you see it has been generated the equation. Okay, for each of the cell. But I'm going to show you something that you need to understand very carefully. So for the first row, you see the equation is calculating, multiplying by this one by this cell, this one by this cell, and 500 by this 25 cell. Okay, and when you are going to the second cell of this revenue column, you see it is multiplying by this cell, this cell, this cell. So this is multiplying by this is multiplying by this, and this 520 is multiplying by this blank cell. Okay, so here is a problem actually. Okay, so what you have to do, you are you see that you want to change the number of novels, magazine and textbook for each of the year, but you don't want to change the price of that novel, magazine and textbook each of the year. Okay, so what you have to do, you have to fix these cells for each of the year's revenue calculation. Okay, so now I am going to show you how you can make that cell fixed. Okay, so you have to do that in the first revenue calculation in 2010. Okay, so then what you can do, you I'm going to start from the novel. So for novel, you see I have multiplied the D13, cell number D13, multiplied by G4, which is this 50. Okay, so you are going to lock this cell. Okay, so to lock this cell, you have to uh, uh, so I will show more details in other videos how to log these cells, but for now I am just going to show you just what you have to do. So to log these cells, what you have to do, just press dollar sign, okay, in front of that. Okay, in front of the number as well as the letter. Okay, so that's how you have locked the G4 cell. Now the G5 cell, you want to lock that as well, because the magazine price is also fixed. Okay, so you have to add dollar sign in front of the letter and the number. Next, the G6 cell, then you have to add dollar sign in front of those letter and number as well. Okay, so now you have to press enter. You see, this is actually, there is no change for this 2010 cells, but if you now drag at the bottom and go until the very end, you see now it has been automatically changed. Okay, and it is giving the value you actually want. Okay, and now you can calculate the all revenue for each of the year from as an automatic process. Okay, for instance, I am going to show you randomly on here. So 2019, so you see in 2019 the number of sales in the bookstore for novels, magazine and textbook had changed, but the price has not been changed because you didn't want to change it. Okay, so that's how you can actually calculate revenue or total sales in a store very easily for multiple items. There are lots of items there. If there is lots of items, this is a very handy process to calculate. Okay, and you can also learn from this video that how you can log the sales. Okay, how you can log a specific cell with the to the equation. So I think this is all for this session. So uh, I hope you have enjoyed it and learned a lot of things from here, and I will show you in the next session. Thanks.